Hello, hello. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. All of those good things. Hello, everybody. It is that time of year. Christmas is around the corner. Today is, this is where it's going to be a little weird because it's like, what time and day is it for me? And then it's like, what time and day is it for my guest? But for me, it is Tuesday, December 22nd. It is a little bit after 5 p.m. Eastern time. So definitely, let's call it a little bit of a different time and day than normal for Automation Unplugged. We are here to bring you show number 151. So pretty awesome. We had our guest number 150 just last week, and here we are rolling into 151, and we may or may not squeak in a 152 next week. That is still to be determined. We're trying to lock a few things in. Obviously, with the holidays, it gets a little tricky. So let me go ahead and refresh my Facebook just to make sure and see if the software seems to be cooperating. And there we go. Does seem that we are live. So what do I have to tell you? Well, my son Max, he's off on the Christmas or the holiday vacation, so he's over in the room right next door here. He's playing video games, so you guys may overhear that on today's show. We'll have to play that by ear and see if he gets a little too loud playing Fortnite. And our friends around the world are in varying stages of COVID lockdown. Here in the US, it's pretty heated. And my guest, they're actually just coming out of it, which is kind of cool. Maybe a breath of fresh air. We'll hear some stories maybe of what he went through and where they're at now. But without further ado, I'm going to bring you Marc Fulker of Greenstar Technologies out of Melbourne, Australia. So had the pleasure of getting to know Marc here in 2020. And I thought that he just had so much to share. And he's actually an avid listener of the podcast. So he loves listening and hearing from about other integrators and hearing from you. And I'm sure that you folks are going to enjoy hearing and learning from him. So that's what makes the world go round. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Marc and we'll get started. And when I said the time difference, you'll understand because it's not Tuesday in Melbourne. All right, let's see, Mr. Marc. Marc, how are you, sir?
I'm well, Ron. Thank you. Yes, it's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. here in Melbourne, Australia, and we're getting closer to Christmas than you are.
I was going to say tomorrow for you it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, we're pretty much wrapped up for the year. Did a little service call today, some of the guys, and ready for a couple of weeks off, and then back to a better 2021.
Amen. So let's start off. Let's tell maybe the audience that is not familiar. They're not like me, and I'm not ashamed to admit I pulled up a map of Australia so that I could figure out where Australia is, and not where it is. I think I know where Australia is, but like where is Melbourne? And so this is for my American audience that does not know where Melbourne or Perth or Sydney or Brisbane. So I'm actually going to share the screen here so that we can all be educated by Marc together. So you're down here. I'll let you use your words. How would you describe it? Where is Melbourne located when we look at the continent of Australia?
So Melbourne's down in the bottom right-hand, I don't know, right-hand area of Australia, in the green, lush green tree, grass sort of area.
That green. Lots of green. And
so yeah, Melbourne's the second biggest city in Australia, Sydney, and then Melbourne. We checked before. There's about 5 million people that live here in Melbourne, in the city. And I guess it's a pretty busy part of the world, and it's just like every other country. We think that we're the only place that exists.
I thought that was only Americans that thought they were the only ones that existed. You're saying that the Australians feel that way sometimes too?
Well, I guess we're feeling pretty lucky at the moment with the situation we're in. We're, pretty big island away from everywhere else, and at the moment we've done very well to keep the COVID sort of thing out of Australia.
What is the status right now in Melbourne and in the country?
So in Melbourne, we got up to 700 cases a day, and then our state leader basically locked down our state. So we weren't allowed to go out. Everyone had to work from home. You couldn't go to work unless it was essential. All the bars, restaurants, cafes have been closed. You couldn't have someone over at your house. And basically, it wasn't very pleasant.
You and I talked quite a bit during that time. It was pretty damn stressful, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it's stressful because, I've got a team of 10 people and we're trying to find work for them, and we could only do new construction. And on those new construction residential sites, the foreman or the builder could only have 5 people on that site. So it's quite a logistical struggle for them, having to see who was essential, like who they really needed to get on the job, and the state of play of the job. And so some weeks we did 3 days a week, some days we did 4, some days we did 5, for like a 10, 12-week period. So, yeah.
So tell us.
Here we are. We've sort of come out of it. Yep.
Yeah, no, congratulations. I'm happy for you. The lockdown is over for you. You said about 3 weeks ago the lockdown was eased up.
Yeah, so we have. I think we only have one case in Melbourne today. That's it. We had been at something like 48 or 50 days COVID free. There was an outbreak in Sydney just this week, and a few of those people have managed to get on a plane or drive to Melbourne, and that's how we've got it again here. So, but only one isolated case, which is sensational. Everyone's still quite scared. If you go into a supermarket, you're still meant to wear a mask. Masks here were mandatory. Everyone wore a mask, and everyone pretty much towed the line. We had a curfew of 9 o'clock at night.
Do you have the anti-maskers there, Mark, like here in America, the people that are expressing their personal right to not wear a mask? Is that a thing in Australia?
Yeah, it is. They had some marches and stuff here about, we're not going to wear a mask and whatever. The police and the army were pretty onto it, and they pretty much just went and arrested them all, gave them all fines. So there was more police than there were people who were anti-maskers. So they just went and put a big ring of steel around them, basically held hands, came in together and picked them off one after one, and gave them fines for not wearing a mask or causing antisocial behavior or whatever. I'm not sure if the fines will stick. That's a bit of a funny one, but
yeah,
so it's been fairly good.
Tell us a little bit about Greenstar. Just what are high level? You said you had 10 people on the team. What type of jobs do you do? Do you do resi, commercial? What type of product mix? What are common solutions? And then I want to make sure that the audience here knows a little bit more about your business. And then I always love to go back into your past and I know you started as an electrician and progressed into full integration with a balance of still electrical work. But yeah, give us an overview of Greenstar.
Yeah, so Greenstar Technologies, been going for 7 years now, and basically we're solely focused on the residential end of the market, delivering bespoke home automation solutions to new builds and renovations, generally in the $2 to $10 million construction in Melbourne. And then, we offer that whole, solution from lighting control to security to cameras to Wi-Fi to, we're the diamond dealer for Control 4 in Melbourne. We have been for the last 3 years. So we've really focused on that as our go-to control system, I guess. We don't really have 5 that we choose from. We're stuck with Control 4. And then we do, multi-room audio theaters, all that other stuff that everyone else does, I guess. But, we have projects that range from $20,000 into the $400,000 range for those sorts of solutions, and everywhere in between, I guess. So I guess a new build for us is a 2-year project. By the time they dig a hole for a basement, they build a 3-story house. They're generally not the jobs that you really make lots of money on, because the labor kills you. Generally, we haven't done the electrical on any of these jobs. We've just signed a few for the new year where we're going to do the electrical as well. So
I know you
the
also
customer
do
gets.
energy, right? You do battery storage. Is that a part of your mix now or in the future?
Yeah, no, so it is now. So we've invested heavily into, we've got a 20 kilowatt solar system on our roof here. We've also got, we went down the path of Sonon as our battery provider. We've got 3 Sonon Eco 8s, they call them, with 24 kilowatts of battery storage that you can load it up to another 24 to have 48. And we've also got 3 battery backup boxes, which means we can run with 3 10 amp single phase solutions for our battery solution here in our showroom. And I guess it's a discussion that we have where we talk to customers about. It's really the final piece of the puzzle now for us, from energy awareness, energy consumption, and we're starting to now design systems where we're getting paid for that design. And on top of that, we're charging for the design of the energy solution, because I guess we feel that people don't really understand what the battery, how it can be used to the best of their advantage. And rather than the architect saying, oh, we think you should do that or this, we sort of know what should be on that backup circuit. Then we can do the drawings and the cable summaries for the electricians to make sure that the circuits that we want backed up are backed up, and other things, are left off it. So look, I think it's the final piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
There's a question posted here by Sean. He says, what's your product mix? So I think he's asking for brands, maybe.
Okay, so in Australia, yes, the C4 is our control system of choice. We're fairly architecturally savage in that. So we do the packaged Wi-Fi, we do Triad, multi-room audio. Our amplifiers will do anything from Integra to Denon to Anthem. At the moment, can't get anything, just like the rest of the world. We've got a few, if you're really desperate, we'll sell them to you. And then our lighting control system in Australia is fairly, I guess, a bit different to the US, where we have a product here called Clipsal C-Bars, which has been marketed crazy in Australia. We also do Philips Dynalight. We do a bit of K-Nex. We've got a Lutron display. So we're fairly agnostic when it comes to lighting control. I guess our customers and the interior designers base that on the aesthetic of the switch, as opposed to what it's actually going to be able to do for them. And I guess what I tend to tell people is that they do 95% of what the others can do. It's just about picking a switch that you're happy and comfortable with. Our go-to product, I guess. Yep.
No, go ahead.
Is look, we've the next 6 months we're doing a lot of Philips Dynalight as our lighting control system, and we're doing a lot of Davie solutions in our residential homes, where we've got 6 to 8 universes of Davie gateways to do the lighting control in the home.
So you just mentioned a bunch of brands, and I want everyone knowing that's watching or listening, maybe most importantly, listening on the podcast, because we are live right now. So there is a video version of this interview on our Facebook page and on our website. But the audio, I'm going to tease you that if you do tune into the video, at the end of this interview, Marc is going to give us a tour of his new showroom. So we are going to get a front to back tour from the front door all the way to the back. And we're going to see what's going on. And it's pretty incredible space. And we're going to, so the niche subject I want to jump into now, Marc, is you built this space because you wanted to perhaps change the dynamic of the transaction or the interaction with the customer. And you mentioned it's enabling you to now start to charge design fees. Can you just talk us through that decision-making process you went through?
Yeah, so we had a certified control floor showroom for 3 years in another location, but the showroom itself was only 5 meters by 5 meters. We've invested here. We've got one location of 530 square meters, and about 200 of that is showroom space. Now, I guess some people don't need a showroom to sell things. We've found it's quite educational. And when people are coming to us for wanting to know what they can do, we can easily show it to them because the way we've set up our showroom with our fresco area, a bedroom, a lounge room, a kitchen, it's quite an easy experience for people to come through and get a good feel about how their home will work from a automation system, from intercom entry to alarms turning on and off, and air conditioning control, and all those things that happen in these automated homes. The design stuff for us, I guess, we've really found that we've tried to set ourselves apart a bit and not spend time just quoting jobs, because we spent way too long in the last years and even last year of just pricing jobs because people wanted to price. We're really focused on now, and I've sort of learnt some of this from some of the podcasts from previous people talking about, it's just about that engaging with people and explaining to them that your time's valuable and that you do know what you're doing. We showed them some demonstrations of previous plans and lighting control layouts or daily setups or audio, how it's placed throughout their home, and Wi-Fi, and show them a sample scope of work as well. And then I guess we're trying to stick to that maybe 5% of the actual where we think that whole house project will be. So if it's 100 grand, it'll be 5 grand. If it's 200, it'll be 10, etc. And really, we're taking sort of 3 to 4 hours to come up with that number internally. So we'll go away after our initial meeting, talk to them about design, that we charge a percentage, and then we'll send them it's actually probably a 10-page document that we've done just as a template that takes us probably 2 to 4 hours to actually nut out the where we think the lighting control is going to go, where we think the security is going to go, based on that hour catch up with that customer. So look, I think we can get that within 10 to 15% of that initial stage. It's really trying to engage with them and trying to get paid for your time you're spending, because we're all, once it's gone, it's gone, and unless we're charging for it, it's hard to give that client the time and the detail it needs to actually do the quote properly. And I guess our experiences has been that, if it's just a quote, there's no perceived value in that quote. They'll just take that and email it to your competitor or the guy down the road. And doesn't seem to be value in the effort and time you put into that information.
What has been the success? I know that you've just been able to open the showroom in recent months. What has been the take rate with you taking clients through the space and then ultimately trying to get them to buy step one, which in your case is a design fee?
So look, it's been a pretty slow year here. I didn't get the key till the 20th of December last year here, and then started a renovation, 2nd of January, finished in April. We got hit with the first round of COVID, and then shortly after that, we got the second hit. So we've really only had probably a dozen people through our new showroom that was finished in, call it early May. So as you can see, the numbers haven't been great.
Well, what are they? So 12, if 12 people walk through the space, there's still a ratio.
Okay, 12 people through the space. Yeah, there's a ratio. Look, I think we've signed 8 of those people up, and 4 of them will be.
Marc, that's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah, no, it is a good ratio, but I guess some of them have been existing customers, so it's just the ratio is not really. No, it is a good ratio.
Yeah,
it is a good ratio. Yeah. Look, I think that what we've found is that our website, our social media, all these platforms that we're on, we tend to be engaging with the right sort of client. We're engaging with people who want to invest in technology, want to invest in a professional company that can help them understand that and deliver that solution. We tend to put a line in the sand and just stick to the automation solution. Don't get involved in the electrical with most jobs, because the builder's generally got a buddy who's the electrician who he's worked with for 20 years, and we don't really want to go and step on his toes and upset that relationship. But it's also an educational step for those electricians. We've got to help them understand Dali or lighting control and what that means for them. And and because I guess I've got an electrical background and all my guys are electricians, all my installers are electricians, It just means we've got that rapport with them, and they don't see us as the enemy, but they see us as a collective or a helping them to get the solution across for the client. It's more a collaborative approach to helping them, as opposed to no, you're the integrated guy. We don't want to talk to you.
That makes sense. I'm going to give a few more shout outs here. People that have stopped in and said hello. Brandy says, hi, Mark. Welcome to the show. And
thanks, Brandy. Brandy's been working on my marketing stuff for us at Greenstar. So we're looking forward to the new year and what that's going to bring.
That's it. Yeah. Brandy has been hard at work. And then you might recognize this name, Becca. She says, you're in the future. How's it looking in the future? It's already tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Still wake up. It's not that too bad. It's not bad.
Yeah,
just wake up.
I'm going to bed and you're waking up. It's funny how that. And I'll give one more. Tina says, very excited to see the showroom. So Tina, we're going to do that at the end of the interview, but yeah, definitely tune in. Now I do want to do a little bit of a cheat code here, and we're going to chart. Mark, you and I know that this podcast, this component here is audio, or it needs to work in audio, but there's something you've done in your showroom, which I think is really neat. And I want, if we can, because we're going to do the full tour later, but I want to attempt, if we could just go over to that section where you have all the pull-out doors. Yeah, and that is particularly innovative. And I'd love for us to talk through what you've done there and why you've done what you've done.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people would get a lot of value in this. So what I'm just going to describe what I'm seeing. Imagine that you're walking into a closet, but on the left-hand side is like 5 or 6 doors that can be slid in on tracks. And on the right-hand side are 5 doors that can be slid in on tracks. And then I'll let you take it from there, Mark.
Yeah, so look, I guess the discussion we have with people about this whole door setup is that when you go to the supermarket to buy milk, what do you see? And I guess my comment to them is just lots of choices. So for here, we have a product called Dynalite in Australia. This is quite good. You can get, I don't know if you can see that, engraving on the labels and the light switches, so you get statuses on the things. This is an LCD screen.
So what the listening audience, what he's done is he's pulled out one of the doors on the left, and on that one door or wall, it's got a beautiful set of keypads from this brand, in this case, Dynalite.
Yep, you can see that. That's a gold one. So basically, I did it on a track system. So I've that's the top there is the orange cable that feeds the door. I don't want to give away all my secrets, but I'm happy to share. And then I've just done it on a track system, and then every door pulls out. So this is KNX's Basalt. Can you see that? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at holding the laptop.
Yeah, I know it's awkward. You're doing the laptop. You're doing a great job. Great job.
Okay, that's a better picture there. So that's a Basalt range. We talk to people about KNX and the opportunities that has in the market. This is a big product here. Oops, there's one missing. In Australia called C-Buzz. So this is a product here that it's very big here. It's been marketed really well. So you can sort of see there that you can do different things.
Yeah, what's impressive about all of these keypads and all of these devices is they're all powered. They're all powered and what seems like programmed, like every one of them.
Yeah, they're all working. You guys probably know what this one is, Lutron.
Yeah, that looks like Palladium and C-Touch and
Yep.
Yeah, very nice.
And then I've done another one with access control. So you can put in a code just to show people different types of keypads they can have for access.
Do you find that this many options is helpful or hurtful? You've done 12 demos, it sounds like. 12 people have been through the space. Do you zero in on what you want to show them, or do you show them everything?
No, look, I show them everything. I guess for me, it's about them making the choice that they want to make. For me, it doesn't matter. Do you mean? So for me, it's about that choice from you seen enough there?
Yeah, that's good. We can go back.
That's so for me, it's about letting them just see that there's choices, because we're a big C4 dealer. So we've got, in our showroom, we've got configurable keypads that are, white and black and whatever, because we had to choose something. You can't really have a showroom where you've got 10 different, well, you could, but it's a bit of a, why would you do it? It's a lot of work to try and get 6 different vendors in your showroom that all function. That would be, and then I've actually got a test bench area as well that maybe another time we'll show you that. But all those lighting systems go back to their own DIN rail power supplies, dimmers, etc. So we can actually bench test any of those brands on that test bench. So we've got a phase dimmer, we've got Davie working. So we can put it into, call it Lutron for your sake, test it, the dimming phase is okay, that ramps up and down okay. We've got a Davie set up there, we've got KNX set up there. So it means we're able to get light fittings from a vendor, for instance, or a lighting supplier, if we're unsure about it, and just put it on the bench and just check it. So yep, it goes up and down, doesn't flash, doesn't carry on.
Even today, the dimmer compatibility with the LED per vendor per fixture. I mean, it's still rather uncertain, isn't it? Doesn't it? It requires bench testing.
Look,
I'm saying this. I'm a bit uninformed. Yeah. I know 20 years ago when I was selling Lutron, that was the thing, but I honestly don't know today what the state of compatibility is.
Yeah, look, I think it's getting better, but the problem now is that there's too many choices on that whole control thing. So we're trying to get people more down the daily control path, because there's less hardware involved in that from our point of view, which means you can hopefully sell them more from in other areas of the job. So instead of your lighting control being $30,000-$50,000 to do, a Philips Dynalight solution, you could get it down to maybe 20,000, because you don't have all those phase dimmers and relays in the switchboard. And then it means that if that price is down, maybe they can spend more money on audio or security or, things like that. So I think it's a bit of a game changer in the market to be focused on that as a solution, and maybe a point of difference in our market, because not everyone's still, on board with it. They're still trying to sell phase dimming lights, and but then you've got to go back to all those suppliers and tell them, it's a Davie system, and do you have a Davie driver? And most of the lights you can get a Davie, but it's about awareness and about making sure they order the right component. Do you know what I mean?
What is for my audience, which admittedly is probably mostly in North America, the US and Canada, certainly a spectrum around the world, listen, like yourself, you listen to some of the shows. What do you think would surprise our audience, or maybe is unique in your eyes about the way technology and home integration is seen, or maybe the state of the market in Australia versus what to be the state in other places around the world? Like what's a unique characteristic of the Australian home integration space?
Look,
and the answer could be nothing. Maybe it's all the same.
Yeah, no, I think it is all the same. I guess, Australians as a market is fairly up to date with technology and want to do things better and want to do things whatever. I think the only thing that I've got out of the podcast from a different point of view is that the scale of the jobs and the money that people have, we don't have a NBA competition here, or a baseball competition, or a gridiron competition. So we have, football, cricket. They're the sports that, and those guys might earn, $1 million a year or $2 million a year if they're good. They're not earning $50 or $100 million. So I guess the size of the jobs, or what happens within the home, is quite the same, but it's just about the size. The technical side of how we do things and things like that, I think, are quite similar. The things we put in places are quite similar. We can do invisible speakers, we can do speakers, we can do great theaters with great acoustics.
What's home construction like there? How do they build the homes?
So most of the homes are just plaster. The bigger homes we do are generally suspended slabs. So the concrete basement, concrete suspended first floor, sometimes concrete suspended second floor. It's unusual that stuff gets put into those suspended concrete slabs. So generally we can just run a continual wire under the slab. They get plastered, or timber gets put underneath that slab. Some jobs have a bit of exposed concrete for certain areas. So the bigger houses are that sort of construction, rendered walls. So you got to do some tracing and stuff. At the other end of the market, the $2 million market is really more timber frame, 2-story, 3-story home, what we call posi strut. So it's fairly easy to work on. Yeah, does that help?
Yeah, no, yeah, I always enjoy
We don't
learning
get,
about. Go ahead.
yeah, we don't get snowed in here. There's a few things that I guess are a bit different here. It
Do you
doesn't get
have
too hot.
hurricanes? I'm in Florida, and so we have to
No
build.
hurricanes.
There's certain building codes tied to the hurricane threat that always is looming here in the Caribbean and in the Gulf of Mexico, and certainly here in Florida. Switching gears, Mark, how did you land here in the integration space? Meaning, I know that your start was as an electrician.
Yep.
How did you transition, or do you mind walking us through that?
Yeah, so I guess I started as an electrician, just doing general electrical work with a one guy contractor. So I had all the great experience of crawling in roofs and underfloors and all those things you do as an apprentice when there's only one other person. You're all the gopher, the lucky. But it was a great experience, and I learned a lot from Trevor, my boss back then. Then from there, I started my own little thing and did 1 day a week and then 2 days a week doing mainly electrical work. In the late 90s, early 2000s, I did some homes where we were pre-wiring for, you guys call it cable, TV, data to multiple points in the house before we sort of had the internet, but we knew it was coming. Doing alarms, doing intercoms, and the usual 100 downlights. But none of those homes were actually automated back then. They were just basic light switches. In the early 2000s, I did a home that had my first sort of automated home. It had a product called Consign as a lighting control system. It's like a contact closure sort of bell press mech that goes back to a switchboard head end. And then that was all component video. So that was all, I guess, pretty tricky to do back then. And I didn't really have a good understanding of that whole audio video distribution. I was an electrician and really had to rely on other people to help me understand that. 2005, I went into a partnership with someone who came out of that TV repair business industry. So I guess that was I had the electrical knowledge. He had the understanding of where that TV video stuff was. Back then it was a bit of a science still. So I guess from that we sort of grew, and we won some awards even back at that company for the best automated home through Clipsal C-Bars, which is one of the lighting control systems, just within our first couple of years. Learn a lot about systems and what not to do, and I'm a fairly reactive on the fly sort of guy, so, and I probably still am. I need other people to do the work and focus on the systems and the outcomes, and I just like to talk to people and share with them what I think I know. So 2012 Greenstar, and 2010 actually. So 2010, and here we are, and we're a team of 10, and we're doing what we do best and just trying to focus on. I've still got my first staff member, Matt, who's been with me that whole period of time as my senior tech.
Wow.
And a couple of guys who have been here for 6 years now. And you can't do anything in business without a great team. So that's what we've got here, and everyone knows their role, and I still go and give them a chop out if it's super, super urgent. They go, no, Mark, go back to the office. We don't want you.
Yeah, get out of here. Get back to the office. Go sell something. We got this.
Correct. So,
What do you think, Mark, the biggest bottleneck to you continuing to grow or scale the business? Like what's the biggest challenge you face right now?
I think for us now is really, I think our growth can be exponential. Like we can go close to doubling in the next 2 years because we've got that infrastructure and really core people in the business that are experienced. We're putting on 2 new apprentices at the start of next year, and I put on a project manager just 6 weeks ago. And I said to Shane when he came on board, I don't need you to do anything this year other than get your head around what's going to happen next year, because come the 4th of January, It's all you. Do you mean? I'm not going anywhere, but I need you to focus on the jobs, getting the gear ready for the boys, liaising with the architects and the builders about scheduling and doing stuff. And I really just want to focus on being a business owner and just sales, just talking to people, engaging with people, showing them what they can do, let them make informed choices about the choices that they want to make in their homes.
What is your biz dev strategy or / sales strategy? How do you find customers? How do you plan to find customers? So let's run the for example. Let's say, for example, you succeed in doubling the business in the next 24 months. Let's say that we walk into the future, we're there in the future, and now you're doing twice the revenue. Hopefully not twice the people,
Yep.
but twice the revenue.
Twice the revenue would be good.
Twice the revenue.
Yeah, 30 extra the people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
How do you
do
you do that?
Yeah. So look, we've invested heavily in SEO in the last 5 years. So for us in a local market, home automation Melbourne, we're number 1 or 2 consistently. The reason I know Ronnie is we reached out to him about 6 months ago. I wanted to have the best company that I could find to do my website, marketing, anything to do with that sort of stuff. I just needed to get it done. And I'd found someone and they let us down. So I really lost 12 months. So One Firefly have been in the background. We've developed a new website that will go live in the first week of Jan. They're doing all my, you guys call it SEM. So all my social stuff, my Facebook, my I'm actually going to go to paid Google ads in the new year. Blog posts, all that stuff I've just outsourced to you guys because I'm not good at it. I just want to focus on where I'm a farmer salesman. The phone rings and I talk to people. I don't make cold calls to people saying, "Hey, it's Mark here from Greenstar. I hear you're a really good builder, a really good interior designer. I want to come work with you." I guess we've got a product download guide on our website that we encourage people to download. And really, it's just a brochure we put together over a period of time. The first one was pretty rough. We're up to about number 4 or 5 now. But it's just information. They can put in their email address. We'll only give them one follow-up email. We're not interested in spamming people about it. It's just about, hey, thanks for downloading the brochure. We've got a showroom here in Melbourne. If you want to come see it, reach out to us, get in touch, and we'll happy to get you through.
Certainly. Well, let me give a shout out here.
Is that going to work, Ron, or not?
Well, we're going to talk it through here live with a live audience. But Chad says a live show. Glad I caught one. Been listening for over a year. So Chad, I'm glad you caught us live too. We got a guest here from Australia, so it was a different day and a different time. But thanks for tuning in. At a high level, I have a question for you, Mark. You said even 5 years ago you started thinking about SEO and I'll just say the internet being a friendly and you leveraging the internet. I always make a joke that the internet's probably not going away. And it sounds like you also maybe believe it's not going away. Where did that come from? So many business owners, doesn't have to be just integrators, but so many business owners underestimate the value of the internet, whether through providing a place for referrals to go do research on you or potentially eliciting or soliciting new business. Where was it? A friend? Was it a mentor? Was it a coach? Was it a book? Like, how did you know to think that way?
Look, I don't know. I guess that I just wanted to invest in the business and reinvest into something that I thought that is the future. And I guess, I've invested quite a bit if I think about it, because it's been going for probably 5 years. But I guess now for us, we're reaping that reward from a number 1 ranking for, keywords that we've worked on and other things that we're adding to now with One Firefly. And it's about, One Firefly's KPI now is to keep us at that number 1 run, which I'm sure you'll do.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. I accept it. I believe in my team. If you were left with me, then I'd be worried for you. But I've got.
That's right. You've got a good team behind you.
I've got a good team. They make me look good, and they help our customers. So I'm.
So look, I'm not sure if you call it, a bit of an entrepreneurial sort of a flutter, but I don't know. I just had a sense that, like you say, the internet's not going to go away. And although people can SEO and the web and, just go paid AdWords, just go paid this, paid that, or whatever. I haven't done anything paid for probably 2 years now. So it's really now about, I guess, the name is out there in the internet, I guess, the plethora of the internet. It's about trying to get some leverage off that. And we've created One Firefly have created some landing pages. So when we do these paid Google ads, they're going to be coming to a design page, about energy, about, home automation, what is it, etc. So, one of the things I've learned is that you've just got to keep reinvesting in your business. You've got to keep doing things. You've got to keep, not just take the money and put it all in the Bahamas. Is that where they put it?
They put it in the Caymans, or they put it in the Caymans or Bermuda, or number of the other tax shelters around the world.
So I don't have any extra, so I've never sent any there.
Me neither. Yeah. I'm still working on building that slush fund where I need to worry about where to send it. I'm maybe a few years away from that, but it's a goal, and you got to have those goals.
Probably one of the things I've noticed in the last probably 6 months, and not because of COVID, just because of people's, I guess, laxness in customer service. I guess I like to think that we are second to none at returning a phone call, picking up the phone, sending back an email to someone, and just doing what you say you're going to do. I think business is pretty basic. You've just got to do that. You've just got to, if someone's got a problem, you just engage with them, what the problem is. We're getting more and more calls from people who are dissatisfied with their existing Control4 person or their existing dealer, and they're not the best jobs to go to. But when you go there and you can see that, gee, there's money here to be made. This is actually easy to do. Let's just get this done and commit to doing it over a couple of days and ticking it off, and then you've got the customer for life, and you've just made 30 grand in the meantime. So there's not made 30 grand, but you've done a job worth 30 grand. So I think there's definitely some companies in Melbourne that are being really slack with that, and I'm sure it's the same around the world. For some reason, they don't see the value in service and about going back and upselling these people to whether it be new remotes or better Wi-Fi
will buy more stuff. It's really simple.
Yeah, that's right.
You just have to make sure they're happy before you move on. Yeah. And the fundamentals, I used to wrestle in my youth, and wrestling's an Olympic sport. And when you watch the Olympics and when you watch the matches, and, a match in Olympic wrestling will be, 2, 3, 4 points to 0. It'll be very low points. And if you watch the moves that win, they're the basic moves. There's nothing and rarely anything exotic. It's single legs and double legs. And, it's the basics. It's the fundamentals. And in business, to your point, I totally agree. It's the fundamentals. Say what you're going to do and do what you're going to say. Follow through, finish the job. Don't bring it to 90%, bring it to 100%. Yeah. And then when you think you're at 100%, make sure the customer thinks you're at 100%. Are you happy? Did we finish it? I think that is universal across all of business. I don't think it's just our integration world.
No, it's not. Yep.
But if you believe that, you're already set up to win.
Yep.
I believe that firmly. Marc, what has you most excited about 2021?
Look, I think we're quite fortunate here, and the whole COVID thing has settled down now. So hopefully we can, actually in the new year, I've built this amazing showroom, and we really just need people to make appointments and come in, so we can talk to them about our design process and how we want to engage with them about, being the automation consultant on their job and charging them for the opportunity of us doing it. So that's, I think we've got so much work to come back to now. Like our January is already chock-a-block, and we're back on the 4th of Jan already. So it's just another thing that it's really, really exciting. We've got, so much work to come back to. We've got so many great jobs to start in the new year. That because of COVID, they all want to finish quick too. So we're going into rough in sort of, late January, and they want to be out in September. So we've got these jobs that are in the, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 mix of revenue. that all want to be done in 6 months. So because we're sort of really trying to control that whole process of not doing things twice. So we've got a job at the moment where we're being engaged as the electrician as well as the automation guy. First job that we're really going to do it. But there's so many answers to get answered, so many questions that need answering from the architect, from the the lighting types, the dimming types, the blind guys, the exact locations. And I've just said to my project manager, we're not going to run anything on this job until all these answers are done. We don't need practice running wires and doing things twice. And because if you do that, there goes your money. You just lost it. Whereas if we can go in there,
measure twice, cut once.
yeah, if we can hit it hard for 3 weeks, we'll knock it on the head, get all this stuff done, get out of there, move on to another one, and then do a cutout, do whatever, order the gear. And yeah, so I think it's just really focused on our processes for next year and getting all that stuff sorted out.
Well, I'm excited for you to do that. I know that you're like a race car. The way I think about Greenstar is a race car that's been revving its engine and tuning its engine, and it's in the blocks and it's ready to start running. And
yeah,
I know so many businesses around the world are in similar positions. That we're ready to start getting COVID behind us, but you're actually there, man. There's one case in your whole state, and fingers crossed for you that it stays that way. That's exciting. Mark, how can folks that are listening get in touch with you? Because I want to get the contact information out of the way, because then I'm going to ask you to maybe spend the last 10 to 15 minutes giving us a tour of your showroom. So
sure.
Anyone listening that wants to follow you, learn more about you, how do they do that?
So on Instagram, our, what do you call it, hashtag is Greenstar Tech. So green the color, star, TECH. We post stuff on that. Probably best, and our website is greenstartech as well, .com.au. So because we're in Australia, that's the local domain here.
We'll give a sneak peek right now while you're going through this of what will be launched in January, but I'm only going to show the homepage.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's that will be done. But I've obviously had a website for a long time, so this is something that the One Firefly team have worked on, and Brandy and the team there have been helping me, Caitlin as well. So I can't not say Caitlin, and all the One Firefly team. So we're going to have a crack to it, the whole, revenue-based maintenance contracts and things like that in the new year. So we've got that on the side as well. So, so Instagram, Greenstar Tech. My email address is marc@greenstartech, so green the color, star, tech.com.au. Feel free to send me an email if you want to. I've sent lots of people emails on these podcasts, and they've been great at sending back some stuff. So happy to talk to people. Happy to. We're a long way away from anyone here, so if I can help on the other side of the world, or you think that there's stuff that we're doing here that you'd like to know about, by all means, get in touch.
And I'm going to ask my team to grab the website URL and Mark's email that he kindly gave out, and to drop that down into the comment section so that anybody, of course, if you're listening on the podcast, just rewind. But if you want to jump over to the One Firefly website or to Facebook, and you can see that in the comments section for the show. Marc, let's go ahead and jump into it, sir. If you're game, let's maybe start at the front door. And this is where this part of the show, we're going to be cutting this out of the podcast just because walkthroughs are a little difficult audio only. And but anyone watching the video, live or in replay, you're going to get to see Marc's space here in Melbourne.
So look, we're on a call it, business district street, I guess. We've got a tram line out the front, so we get a bit of passing traffic. The doors are locked. We don't really want people coming in unless it's by appointment. This guy's good. I don't know if you've seen these around the world, but this is a COVID testing station. So as people come into the office, we get them to smile, and it tells you that you've that you're looking good, which is always encouraging.
So it's doing a thermal camera scan of your face.
Correct. Yeah, and keeps that as a screenshot, I guess, in the software. So if you ever have to, go back to see who was in your office or whatever, you can.
Got it.
This is a section we did at the front of our showroom. So out on the street, a bit of a fake grass on the ground. And we did like a satellite array system through there, just to show an alfresco area. So we've got these heaters up here, fan, some cans there. That's a backlit picture of my place of a pool area, just to talk about that whole outdoor area. Here we've got just a picture of our foyer sort of area. So that's a 3 meter by 2 meter picture on the wall. That basically, it's just a nice sitting area. So the little chairs are actually inside the showroom. The rest of it's just a picture.
Optical illusion there.
Optical illusion. And then that's sort of the rest of the showroom there. But as we walk down, I'll sort of give you a bit of a walkthrough. So we've got an intercom station here that we talk about, access control and things like that. I got a bit carried away with my bed head here, but I'll show you what that is.
Okay, so you're turning the lights off in this.
So turn the lights off.
Oh, there we go. Really neat lighting sequence there. Is that LED strip lighting? This is a product that you design and install into projects?
Look, it is an LED strip product. In our showroom, we just did 0 to 10 volt control because in Control 4 world, it's easy to do, I guess. So, yeah. So in this room here too, we've got some sheer curtains that sort of, you can see them there with some lights on the side, etc. that we did just to light up that area. So we're back in that bedroom again. So just some shears or whatever that need a bit of adjusting. So opposite the bed, hopefully we're not getting dizzy.
I'm just
Opposite
getting a
the bed,
little
we've done
dizzy, not a lot dizzy.
Okay, you stay still. I'll try and slow
Yeah,
down.
there you go.
Opposite the bed here, we've done a play bar and stuff in this credenza down here with a sub underneath it. And we talk about to people just with, the Control 4 Neo remotes about what they can do, watch, listen, shades, etc.
Is the Neo remote your go-to remote? I mean, that might be a silly question.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's it. That is our control. That is our control system, I guess, is Control 4. So the Neo remote is pretty much it. Yep.
Got it.
Okay, so the next room is our living sort of room. It's just a Sony 77-inch LED TV. We did these speakers back up in here, hidden behind the fabric there, just to try and make the room a bit cleaner for the interior designers.
Is that triad speakers behind the cloth?
Yeah, so we did triad silvers, and we got a gold sub down in the corner there. Okay. The other end of the room is a couch. Oops, sorry, I'm not very good with this. And once again, just some acoustic paneling on the back wall there, and then we've got our rears and effects in the ceiling up there.
Yeah, it looks nice.
This is the other view of it, I guess. So we've got our meeting room table, and then we've got a bit of a kitchen bar set up there with our blue LED light. And then we've got a fireplace there, an LED fireplace. So it's just for aesthetics, I guess, and the frame TV. We also did the stealth invisible on that wall as well. It's a bit hard to see because it's invisible.
It's invisible.
So we sort of are able to show that as well. I'll show you this. This is only just, we did this yesterday, so it's a bit new, doesn't actually work yet. So that's our 4x4, picture in picture setup that we're doing.
Got it. What is the goal? What do you plan to show on that display, or what do you plan to model there?
Yeah, so that's 4 55-inch Philips commercial TVs. Look, I guess we're trying to discuss more about the whole home office environment now, and the opportunities, I guess, in our market about people going to stay home a bit more. So I guess we want to be able to show someone's email on one screen, a Zoom call on another, maybe the NASDAQ if you've got any shares, I don't know, or romper room in the corner. And then possibly swap it out to a sports bar setup so we can have different sports on the different TVs. And then also just have it as like a picture art of our own projects. So we'll have pictures that will come across that as just beautiful pictures that you'll see on our news site when it launches. We've been able to get back into jobs and have them photographed, which is great. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's great. That's helpful. Are you seeing an increased demand for the home office?
Look, not as yet, but I think it's just one of those things that as we come out of this whole COVID thing, it's going to be more and more, relevant, or people will consider it, I guess. And for us, it's just about sharing with people what you can do. This is a staircase that was already here, so I've just painted it and did some LED under lights there. We've got an office upstairs as well, so there's 4 people work up there full time. That's our display wall thing we showed you before. Around the corner, go to a rack and our lighting control switchboard. I'll show you this just quickly too. This is our energy monitoring thing called eGauge that we're showing here to show our solar panel production. So we've got 20 kilowatt system on the roof. So today's a bit of a crappy day, so it's not producing much. Actually, nothing. Oh, I turned it off. It was a bit noisy, actually. I turned it off. But that's our production. And then I'll show you this as well.
Is the solar on your roof able to fully power the showroom, or do you just slowly drip into the batteries and then you could run fully off the batteries?
So look, if I put the rest of the batteries in, I could. This is our tech bench area I was showing you before, talking to you about before. I've got to finish it off a little bit, but you get the idea. So this is our Dynalite, Lutron, Legrand's,
Wow.
C-bars, KNX, Control 4. And then there's the test bench power points down there that you can see that have got, phase dimming, universal dimming, power points. You sort of get the idea with that. And then I got a little bit carried away with this. This is my battery setup. So on the top there are the battery backup boxes, and then each of these Sonom. I've only got 8 kilowatts of batteries in each of them. So in one box here has 8 kilowatts, and then on the roof I've got I think it's 52 of these guys on the roof to give me my 20 kilowatts.
Wow.
So obviously when the sun's out, it's great. It charges the batteries and stuff.
That's beautiful. And I love the illusion from those lights on the right-hand side, because those lights are LEDs. That's not windows.
Yeah, the LEDs. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I just put that together to try and, I guess, illuminate this area and trying to keep it a bit tidy so it looks a bit smart.
Yeah.
Look, the discussion we have with customers about this is that, when you have an electricity bill that's $2,000 a month, which most of our customers do, the quick maths, the 24,000 a year, 96,000 over 4 years, and they all look at you as if you're talking rubbish, and then they think about it and go, "Oh my God, I'm spending $94,000 a year on electricity and don't get any return on that or anything." So this is probably a $50,000 setup, I guess, is what we've shown here. So it's a decent investment, but if they do a payback over that period of time, you can see that that's where it happens. Sorry, just a rack or whatever. Everyone's seen a rack before, but just networking stuff. We've got the package router, the WRK1, a 24-port switch. We run the CA10 controller here with an EA5. Have some video matrix stuff there, some cameras, then the audio stuff, and then the crown amp for the satellite speakers out in the garden there. So yeah.
Spectacular, Mark. I'm so excited for your marketing engine to get turned on and for COVID to be fully settled so you can start getting that traffic driven into your show space.
Yeah, looking
really
forward to it too.
impressive. Really impressive. Marc, you've been very generous with your time, sir. And generous with really showing us all what you've done. It's neat. It's really impressive. I'm going to ask a closing question, and I may cut this into the podcast. We'll see how the audio works. But if there was a closing piece of advice that you would listen or that you would give to that entrepreneur out there, whether that's a new startup or someone that's been at it for a while, but something that you've learned along the way, the school of hard knocks that is called entrepreneurship in this crazy industry of custom integration, what would that piece of advice be?
I think it would be to be focused on what it is you want to do. Like for us, we just want to do this home automation stuff. We want to grow our business as a home automation dealer, and I guess not get sidetracked in doing bits and pieces of other things that come up that you get inquiries about. So I guess for us, and it's not being the answer to all people. I guess there's some customers that ring us that we don't do that product. So I'm happy to share with them who I think they could use to do that product, but I don't want to engage in being another person who's got 5 control systems under their belt to be able to get their technicians to learn how to program and do stuff. So I think having focus and having belief in your team, belief in your ability to deliver things, and that only comes with time. I mean, like I didn't do anything special from the early days, and just your jobs evolve. You do one room with a pair of speakers, and then you do another room with 4 pairs, and you do another room with whatever, and then you do security, and it's just an evolving process. So I think you've just got to believe in yourself, believe in the products that you sell, and believe in the ability to get training from your vendors that actually, as a Control 4 diamond dealer in Melbourne, we just focused on that as a product. All our guys have done their PCNA training. All my guys have done their online training course, which is a 4-day course. So you've got to commit to that, sending you guys into doing it. But if you don't do that, it means that you've got guys out on the road who, if it's something easy, they can just grab their laptop and fix it, or one of the other boys can log in and help them. So, just being razor sharp focused on the market that you want to deal with too. I guess we are getting a bit fussy now about the suburbs and the customers that we deal with. We really just want to focus on the home automation where they want to deal with one company to do everything. And I think we've got the runs on the board now to be able to offer that as a service. People can see now through our showroom and just our jobs that we've done that, we're nice people. We want to do the right thing. We've still got customers who love to have people at their homes, which is great. So we've got a couple of really good referral customers who are happy to have people in their home, and we do a bit of a tour with the customer and the client. And it's that whole trust thing. They get that if we've done that job and that customer's still talking to us and they're referring us, that there's a level of comfortability within that.
Awesome. And I'm going to put a quick comment here on the screen. Becca says, wow, so awesome to see the showroom. Thanks, Marc. And I'm going to second that. I know everyone that watches this video will put a little bit of energy behind this on our social media. So we should have some nice numbers on this, Marc. So I know this is going to be helpful to many, many out there around the world. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for coming on episode 151, Automation Unplugged.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoy listening to them when I walk my dogs, and I don't really see the videos much myself, but it's a great thing, and I enjoy listening to it and get value out of other people's ideas and comments and processes and what they've been and done and what they've learned. So thanks for the show.
All right. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Show number 151, Automation Unplugged. Today is, at least here in Florida where I'm at, it's Tuesday, December 22nd. It's about 6 o'clock. It is a couple of days away from Christmas Eve. So I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I want you all to stay safe. I want you to socially distance until you get your vaccine. You need to keep your friends and your family and your coworkers safe so we can get through this craziness. And 2021's we're gonna make 2021 better than 2020. And this year with Automation Unplugged, it's been nothing short of amazing. I want to thank my team. Stephanie, Allison, Elizabeth, Carlos, Carly, Miguel. There's an army. I say this every time, or at least as often as I can, that it takes an army to put this show out there and bring this to you every week. And this was a great year, and 2021 is going to be even better. So again, we may or may not get a show in next week. We're just trying to get a lock in on our guest. Obviously, the holidays bring a lot of craziness. But if you have not done so already, please go over, subscribe to the podcast. That way you can listen to the audio. And you just search Automation Unplugged in your favorite podcast software. And you can listen to us that way. And here's our website. Actually, let me hide that. Here's our website, onefirefly.com. Don't forget, every show here for Automation Unplugged gets fully transcribed onto the website. So if you want to read the interview versus just listening to the interview or watching it, it's going to be on our site. And it's usually about a 1 week delay from the show getting recorded to all of that content landing up on the site. So on that note, I wish you all adieu. Have a great holiday, and I will see you on the flip side. Thanks, everyone.